Hi everybody, it's 314 React here, and today we're going to be looking at a really random, unknown game that barely gets any attention. I believe it came out in 2001, and yeah, it was a bit too late to the arena shooter game. I don't think it was originally a US or UK release, but it got released over here as a gold edition. There's not much online about it. There's a few reviews, but they're not very positive towards it. I only know about it because I had it on a random demo disc from PC Gamer or something like 20 plus years ago. I thought I'd reinstall it and just do a random video on it because it is quite hilarious. It's not actually that bad. I quite like the UI. We're running in a weird resolution because it won't actually physically let the engine go up to 4K. I'm running as high as resolution as it will go, which I think is like 2048 by 1536 or something. Let's dive into the first level that I played with this, most likely, which would be Deus Ex Machina by Crush. You got the funny characters here: Rigor, LR300, Baster. Obviously, LR300 is a rip-off of Zan. Baster, Ron, Cat, Fatman, Paul, and a few other randoms, and Rock Ray. So the bots are all ridiculously named. Now, another thing I like about the menu is there's actually quite a few graphical settings, which is quite enjoyable because when I first played this game, it was on my PC that I'd gotten for Christmas in late 2003, which is a Duron 1300 with some inbuilt graphics in it. I think SIS onboard graphics or something like that. And I was just randomly installing demos, and this one was installed, and it got me interested in what does all this stuff mean, like bump mapping and advanced shadows and anisotropic filtering, compressed textures. All this stuff just got me so into graphics in games when I would see these sort of advanced graphics settings. So yeah, the game has a strong nostalgia for me. You can tell obviously its inspiration. And now we're about to see how dumb the bots are. Oh, and you get a lot of this as well, a lot of crashing. See, the game's pretty unstable. It does tend to crash a lot. There is a patch, but I just got the bump maps working, which give these nice sort of textures and things. It took so long to get them working. They're so finicky that I'm worried about interfering with the installation. The CD that I'm playing from seems to skip a lot as well, so the music will keep going randomly. Like that. And here we see the AI. They seem to get confused in this corner. It's so ridiculous, but back in the day, I was quite enjoying this. I played Unreal Tournament by this point, but it was just such a novelty to be playing any game on my own PC in my room, instead of the family PC. So it's really enjoyable. And in fact, we're running at such a clean resolution here. This is the kind of resolution I'd be running at, or trying to run at, on my old CRT like nearly 2 decades ago. And the hardware I had just wasn't capable of running it at a decent frame rate, whereas of course now I'm getting like 100 frames solid. So it's kind of cool. Oh, it's going to keep crashing. I don't know why. It's good music, but it's got such a badass, stereotypical first-person shooter feel to it. It's great. So let's add in a Ron and a Fatman into Ruiner, which is another level that was on the demo when I played it way back in 2003. And here we go. I like this one because it has these nice little water effects down here. Oh, which now have the bump mapping applied to it, I think. Oh, that looks nice. I love that. Late 90s, early 2000s bump mapping. Look at that. The mouse feels horrible. And there's this little random toilet room here with a skull on the floor for some reason. And this mirror usually does reflect your player character, but it's not now for some reason. I think that's a planar. It's also not reflecting that flame there. But I'm not going to try and fix that because I'm afraid I'll break the bump mapping again. God, the AI is so bad. I love the gore as well. It's so funny. It's so over the top. Like, I think there's something glitched out with the guy's model for some reason. But again, I don't know. This game is so glitched. It's going to crash again in a minute, I'm fairly certain. So yeah, this is just your kind of run-of-the-mill first-person shooter, really. It's not that bad. but it is a bit late to the game. The AI is not great, and basically no one's really heard of it. Because by the time this was out in 2001, I can't remember if the original release was out in 2001, or whether it was the UK-US release came out in 2001, but either way, it came out way too late for the games it was trying to compete with. Obviously, Unreal Tournament and Quake 3. And by the time it came out, Unreal 2 would have been well in development, or even out, possibly. Unreal Tournament 2003 would have been well in development, or possibly, again, out. Because, yeah, if it came out in 2003, then, yeah, Unreal Tournament 2003 would have been out by almost a year. So, Halo would have been out by that time. You know, Red Faction, all these other first-person shooters. So it's just, it didn't stand a chance, which I think is a shame because it does have a certain charm to it. You know, it's got its own feel to it. Because while it is in the same technical vein as, you know, an arena shooter like UT or Quake, it's got its own music, it's got its own bizarre characters and weird levels that have hilarious names. You know, like Ruiner and Deus Ex Machina, and I think there's a level called Halls of Pain or something. So it's got its own personality to it. But then maybe that's my nostalgia talking. I don't know. And and another thing that's really cool is it has a console, and what you can do is you can change some of the settings for the weapons, if I can remember what one does it. There we go. So W, grenade. You can change all these settings, and I remember finding this like in 2003, 2004, when I was really bored after school at some point. And you can just change all these settings, like the shotgun V spread. You can change the shotgun V spread to 0. You can change the shotgun H spread to 0, which of course sets the vertical and horizontal spread to 0. And you can set the damage to 9,999, and you can also set the amount of lead that flies out of it. Now this only goes to a maximum of 99. If you go over 99, it will crash the game, and I've always remembered that. So basically what you can do is you can turn the shotgun into a ridiculous sniper rifle that I didn't apply the horizontal spread to 0, so it's just a full-on vertical spread that fires out 99 bits of lead. So you can just fire it down a hallway and it just blows up anyone. It's so funny. But if we go back, I don't know why that didn't apply. Let's go to horizontal spread 0. There we go. So now it's basically a sniper rifle, and you can do the same with all the weapons. And you can make the grenades blow up the entire map. You can make the rockets blow up the entire map. You can speed the rockets up, slow them down. It's so ridiculous, and there's so much freedom to it. So there we go. Like, it just annihilates him because it's 99 bullets flying out all at once. And look, you can see the frame rate dropping. It's gone down to 80 frames, 70 frames, because there's just so many rounds flying out of this, all in the same direction. Oh, it's great. And you can also just turn it into a straight up square as well, if you go to V spread 1000. So you can basically just shoot. Just shoot down a hallway and just take out anyone. It's great. Because I remember the first time I tried that, and it was like Christmas 2003 or something, and I set the amount of bullets to come out to like 9,999, and immediately the game just crashed out. So funny. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at some of the names. So we've seen the character names from Baster to Rock Ray. Let's have a look at some of the level names. Blade Run, Chambers of the Black Cross, Entering the Trial, Simply Elegant, Halls of Suffering, the Z Generator, Lenova's Embrance, Orkstone. Oh, it's so ridiculous. So if we go over to Arcade CTF, because there's Tactical and Arcade, and Tactical has like recoil and stuff. It's very weird. But what was it? Steelclad Fort. So if we add some bots in on the blue team, you have to add them each in manually. Let's add in some Rons on the blue team. It's so awkward adding in bots. If we add 5 Rons and 4 Gregs to the red team, and then I'll be the 5th member of the red team. So this was the other level on the demo. Right. Oh, look at that water as well. Oh, look at that. Oh, late 90s bump mapping on that water. But yeah, you can go in, you can go here, you can go to rocket launcher, missile speed. Here we go. Just set it to 10. Damage 99999. Damage radius 9999. doesn't seem to be crashing as much on this map for some reason. Oh, someone's fired a rocket. So you can see the rocket is going so slow. But eventually when it hits, it'll... Oh no! Oh, come on. Just in case you want to play this game and you ever get the demo or you get the game, I think you can get the demo from a lot of websites. I think you can even get the full game from a few websites because I think it's considered vaporware now, but I'm not going to post a link to them. I think you can just... But if you do get this game, there's a way to get the bump maps working, and that is you have to go in here and tick NV Register Combiners, and under Video Properties, set it to Direct 3D Auto, 32-bit color depth, and 8-bit alpha depth. Should get the bump maps working for you. They do work under OpenGL, but it looks like it just loads the specular map rather than the actual bump map, so it looks a bit different and not quite as good. But yeah, that's how you do it, because otherwise it doesn't load the bump maps, and I spent a long time wondering why the bump maps weren't working. Because the only reason I found out it did have bump maps, because there's one random laptop I have that I have this installed on. It's like a 2006 Toshiba that has some inbuilt graphics, and for some reason that by default loads the bump maps fine. But anywhere else you have to tick NV Register Combiners to force bump mapping for some reason. So, but the game is still notoriously unstable, as you'll see. Oh, and also that setup utility is found under the installation folder, under bin, and it's this setup exe. Make sure to use the setup exe from here. If you can try and use the shortcut in the start menu, but if you use the setup shortcut from the start menu, it won't work, because for some weird reason, I think it's due to relative paths, it won't write to this INI file, which has all the details in it. You have to go into this folder, into bin, and run this setup. Otherwise, it won't work. So let's try and go back in. Let's try some Halls of Suffering. Let's add in some cats. Too lazy to switch it up with the bots. That bot addition system is so awful. So here we see the clear Quake 3 inspiration. And let's set the machine gun to do something funny. Get some really hilarious spread of the machine gun. Get some really funny damage as well. It just annihilates everything. It does so much damage, and they explode and there's so much blood. It's so funny. Where are they gone? I mean, look at this level. It's like a Quake 3 level with an Unreal Tournament skybox. I think the company that made it was NMG, and I don't know if I doubt they exist anymore, but I don't know what they went on to be, if any of the developers went on to something else. I have no idea. From what I've seen, there's not much information about them. You can buy copies of this on eBay, because I have 2 copies, including a sealed, boxed copy. Look at this, it's so ridiculous. Because the pistol as well is really weak. Like, it does nothing. Like, look at the accuracy of this pistol. It just does nothing. It's a horrible starting weapon. They can't even defend yourself. It's nothing like the Enforcer from Unreal Tournament. And of course they're using my own modified machine gun against me there. The AI is so bad as well. Let's have a look at another level. Celestial Palace. So let's add in 5 pulls and some LR3000s on the red team. Ooh, some more nice bump mapping on the floor there. And this level, yeah, I mean, come on. And these will be jump pads, right? Yeah. Yeah, you can clearly see the Quake 3 inspiration here. Oh, it's great. Guy's trying to take our flag. What is that in the middle? Some sort of super armor? Jetpack? Oh my god, it's low gravity, isn't it? Is it low gravity? I don't know what that is. It's got 10 seconds left, whatever it is. I think it's low gravity. Or something. That's pretty cool as a power-up. No, the whole map is low gravity. In that case, I have no idea what that power-up was. Like I said, back in the day, it's got such nostalgia, because back in the day, just being able to run anything on my PC, my own PC, for once, no one else's, was just such a novelty. Yeah, it must have come out in 2001, because I remember the demo disc I had for a long while before I got my PC, and my PC was in 2003. Yeah, it says 2001. Yeah, there's reviews from like 2001, 2002. So I think it was released in its home country, which was somewhere in Europe, I think. I probably should have done more research on this, but it was not released in the UK or the US first. So I think it came out somewhere else in 2001, which was already too late for what it was trying to compete against. And then that guitar thing. And they changed the name because it was already called Hired Team Trial, and then they released it in UK, US territories, and it became Hired Team Trial Gold. And because it had trial in the name, it made people think that it was a demo. Of course, it was the full thing, so that was confusing as well. So it really shot itself in the foot there with its sort of marketing with the name. And then on top of that, the demo, which I still have the disc for, is called Hired Team Trial Gold Demo. So it's so ridiculous. Like, it's a ridiculous game. It's just it's so funny. But I do like it, and I do appreciate the amount of graphical settings. Although there was a time in like the mid to late 2000s, early 2010s where I couldn't really configure graphical options, and that was a pretty horrible time. So also this game gave me a bit of nostalgia for you know, back when you could select loads. See, look, the rockets just blow up everything on the map. It's great. So yeah, it was a good time for nostalgia for having lots and lots of graphical settings. But now, of course, we're back to having loads of graphical settings again, which is good. So I'm going to try one more level, because I could play this for hours, because it's just so much fun. Abandoned Refinery. Ooh, that looks good. Oh, it's got the main menu music, which is so awesome. Oh god, I need to... The main menu music is so good. I just love the cheesy metal. And I really like that effect with the bump mapped water. Oh my god, it looks so nice. So nostalgic. And these sort of specular things that were so common at the time. Oh, look at that. And also around that time I was playing Halo on my Xbox and stuff, so you'd be seeing similar things with like micro textures and specular maps and bump maps, and it's so nice. This game does have micro textures in it, but with bump maps enabled, they're disabled. So with micro textures on, you could walk up to them and you'd see really tiny textures like that, and it would look really nice, like in Serious Sam or Halo 1. So I may look further into this. Look at that! Look at that cube map! Wow! That is so poorly done. Look at it. That is a really badly applied cube map. I love it. Look, it's like warping, it's moving. I think the texture sampling of it is like all wrong or something. Oh, you can literally look and see the corners and the edges of the cube map. Oh, that is amazing. It's down here. Oh no! Oh. If by any chance someone who developed this game watches this video, please drop me a comment. It'd be great to hear from you, because I love this game. I think it's great. Oh, that war effect is so nice. This pistol is so weak. All the bullets just like go around them and they don't do anything. It's like I'm playing Battlefield 2042. Let's try one more level. Domination for Mother Machine by Crush. Let's try that on Domination. Wow, look at this map. Oh, this has some very... Oh, I forgot to add in any bots. Oh, this has some very Unreal vibes, doesn't it? Look at that. They got the Unreal skybox, you got the Unreal like bits out there. Got a sort of Quake 3 looking bit here. This bit down here even looks a bit Tomb Raider-y, like a bit Tomb Raider-y meets Quake 2. Oh, yeah, now we're talking. Now we're talking. This is late 90s incarnate. But let's reload with bots. You can just see like so many different games all splodged into one in this map. Oh my god, what the... Oh man, this thing as well. Their version of the plasma gun. Where is it? Firing out like 2D sprites. Oh, it's still got the slow rockets. Oh, but they're not blowing up everything. So it almost seems random what configuration will be kept as you reload the level. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that on the crystal thing there. Oh, that's awesome. Dun. This looks like an artifact out of Tomb Raider. There we go. That guitar riff is so good. I love the music as well. I mean, Come on. If whoever did this music isn't doing the music for the next Doom game, then, you know. Oh, there's even a bit of Half-Life. There's a bit of Half-Life. There's a bit of Tomb Raider. There's a bit of Quake 2 down there. It's like everything. So yeah, I'll probably end the video here. This has just been a really random ramble about this old game that I played about 20 years ago. There's a few other games like this as well. There's another game, I like it. I think it's part of Heroes of Might and Magic, but it's like a Counter-Strike version of Might and Magic. Another game that I found on a random demo. It was probably the same demo disc, to be honest. So I'll probably load that game up and check that out at some point. So yeah, please do drop me a comment if you actually heard of this game. If you like this sort of rambly video about random video games that no one's ever heard of. Because I think it's fascinating. And it's a really bizarre nostalgic trip. Because what is with this shotgun? Because there's like shared nostalgia, you know, where you can talk to someone about Quake 3 or Unreal Tournament, and most people can, you know, agree with you on that. But there's games like this where they're nostalgic to me, but no one else has heard of them really. Also, that like running sound effect is part of my soul now. It's just such a generic sound effect. I love it. I think if it came out in 1998, 1999, it would have done a lot better. But I think it was just the timing and the fact that it was a bit technically messy that I think it didn't do so well. But overall, I think it's pretty fun. It's worth giving it a go. If you can find the demo or find the game somewhere. Like I said, I think it's considered abandonware by now. Thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you in the next video.